Alright, welcome to Heroic Academy. This is a quick video to solve a challenge one of my students is facing. Actually, he's facing a payment issue. He integrated Paystack to his website, but this is the issue. He's experiencing. In fact, let me explain it simply. When someone orders for something, orders for a product online, if that product exceed hundreds, if that product enters 1000, then the accurate price will not reflect in Paystack, and he's confused. So that's what might be the problem. Okay, for example, let's see it, and this is the website. Let's say someone orders for, this is 50,000, right? Okay, let's order for it. You add it to cart. Okay, then proceed to buy. Sorry. Then normally when you proceed to buy, you have to enter your details. Because I've entered my details before, so it didn't ask me to enter any detail anymore. Okay, but that's okay. Then you select credit or debit card, then click complete payment. Then you see, so what you notice here is 600. Okay, so you see, and that is not the accurate price. If you watch, see that it is still 600,000. It's taking 600. So what exactly happened? This is simply what happened. It's actually very simple. When you come to, when you, let's go to JavaScript. Let me show you exactly what happened. Let's search for display cart function. Okay, so let's search for the particular function. This display cart function, and the total price we are using for display, as in to display to carts. Like this is a cart now, and the function helps us to display item to carts for us to get the total price. Okay. In this function, we calculated the total price, and this is how we did it. See this total. So we are adding all the subtotals together to get the total price. And after getting the total price, we came down here, we save it in local storage. Okay, before we now convert it to Naira, to comma separated number currency, and display it here. Do you understand? Now this is correct, as in your display cart is correct. Don't mind my this. I have kata, I play a bit of kata. Okay. Okay, but let's go to display checkout. Where the problem is in this checkout, this display checkout, where the function that helps you to display item in checkout, which is this one, the function that helps you to display this here. And this is where the problem is. In this display checkout, let's move down. This is what happened. You came here, you save this to the total cost. You also save it to local storage. It is not necessary. And you know what happened? Even if you still want to save it, it's still the same thing. Okay, it's still the same. The one you have in the cart is still the same thing. But if there's need for you to save, to receive the total cost to local storage, make sure that you've not converted it to an international number, like a comma separated value, because this is a comma separated value. Let's watch it. I think this is it here. This is what I'm looking for here. You see, now here you converted it to a comma separated value, so it has comma. So if you save it as a local storage, it has comma, and Paystack doesn't accept a number with comma. It will see it as a string, and what it will do is that it will pick the first three numbers and forget about the rest that has comma. Hope you understand. That is what is happening. So if you must convert anything, any number to, you want to save it in local storage and you want to use it for either calculation or for payment, make sure that you've not yet converted it to this international number format. I hope you understand. Very good. You can save it. After saving it, you will now convert it. The essence of converting this is for it to have a comma separated value while you are showing it to people, so that it will be easier for people to read and understand, as in for people to read, especially when it has a long list of long value, maybe lots of zeros or stuff like that, or not a long digit. So that comma separation will make it easy for people to understand. Do you understand? Very good. But for calculation, you don't need it. You see the way it is now, you don't use it for calculation. This is the one you use. Before you convert it to this, make sure that all calculation is done. If you want to save that number to any local storage, you save it to local storage. When you convert this, you just for view, for people to view it, okay, so that it will be formatted like a currency. Do you get me now? So that is the issue. So what you have to do, it's not actually necessary for you to save in local storage anymore, because you did not add any value, any extra value to total cost. It's still that same total cost, no value. It's just for you to display it in the checkout. Do you understand? So here, delete it, not necessary. Okay, but make sure that if you must convert it, if there is need, maybe you added a value, maybe maybe something like shipping cost, you came here, added shipping cost, whatever, do everything above. Okay, finish adding the shipping cost to the total value, maybe tax to the total value, add all of them, then save it to local storage before converting it to this. I hope you get me. Very important. Okay, once you understand this, you won't have any issue. So now that I've commented this out, I believe I have. Where is it again? Local storage, the set item. Okay, this is let me check what I'm seeing. Display checkout. Okay, this display checkout. Let's check. Display checkout. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So I've commented this out, right? Very good. So now that I've done this, I will refresh it. I'll just go to cart first, because it is in this card that it saves the total cost. The reason I went back to cart is for it to save the total cost as a free. In this card, it's saving it before converting it to this format. He saves it as a normal number without comma. If you want to see that, let me go to cart and show you. Look, I think I have. Okay, I have not. Let's go to display cart. Let me show you display cart. Let's go to display cart. So what I'm going to do now is in display cart, I will do console.log. Where is that total cost? The moment I save it in local storage, this one's a subtotal, right? Okay, this is it. You see, it was saved in total storage before converting it to number. To this number, you get me? So if I should do console.log total, you see what we get. Now let's view the console. Okay, now let me refresh. Do you see? It has no comma, and that's the point. So this is how it's supposed to be. Okay, that's the total, isn't it? It has no comma. You understand? So that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, very good. So like I said, if you go, because in checkout you are not adding any extra cost, there won't be need again for you to store it again in checkout. because it's already in the local storage. The same value is already in local storage. But in case if you added any extra value for one reason or the other, you added extra value in checkout, then you have to resave it in local storage. But make sure that you've saved it before converting it to a value, a currency format. Do you get that? So that said, now that you've gotten that, let me remove this console again. Let's go back to checkout and order for this product again. Let's see what we get. Let me refresh. Then we'll move back to checkout. Remember the total is 600,000, right? Okay, now let's move to checkout. At this checkout, right? The total even though I'm noticing that you didn't strictly follow. There are some things I'm noticing here. You see, you didn't strictly follow my tutorial. That's why your own is moving away. You see how it's moving away. So maybe you need to review what you did that made it move away from yes. Only when it is okay. Maybe you've now worked on the responsiveness, and probably okay. Yeah, you've now worked on the responsiveness, I think. Okay, now you click on credit and debit, then complete payment. So you see that we got it right. So the problem solved, right? Then you now select, and that is it. So payment, but it say insufficient fund because we're talking about 600k. So there's no sufficient fund in your test account, but it went well. Everything went well. You get that? So that is it. Then talking about the other one you said, let me check. I believe you're talking about when you have maybe fashion and designing like this. Even though you see this thing, when you hover on this, it's hidden. Why? Because of the background, the color of the text and background matches. So what you have to do, you have to work on this. Give the text another color, a lighter color that will show, as in when someone hovers on the text. Okay, give it a lighter color. Okay, that's by the way. But let's click on this so it doesn't show because of spaces in between the line. Let's see. Let's add hyphen. Let's see what happens. So when we add hyphen, it shows. Now this is what you have to do. You know, normally once you're talking about the URL, spaces should be avoided. There must be something you use to replace spaces. You understand? In the URL, especially when you're dealing with HD access, you should avoid spaces in the URL. It's not necessary. You must use something to replace it. So you have to use if you can, if you can actually do this, you can. One option here, which is the best option, is for you to create a method. You can create a method that maybe you can create it probably in product class, okay, because all these are products, or in category class, maybe product or category class. No. Or you can even create a class of its own. The method will be for formatting the URL. I didn't do it in my tutorial, but you know, how far I've gone will give you insight into how to do some other things. Do you understand? So the method will be to format the URL, and in that method, when I say method, I mean a function. It will be a public function. The method will be used when a URL is inserted in it, or maybe a category is inserted in it. It will add hyphen in between spaces. Okay, then if there are other characters that should be avoided, that should be removed, you can use the method to remove it. Let me show you. Let me give you an idea. But if you don't want to create a method, a simpler way to do it, the essence of creating a method is for you to use that same method for all the URL. Do you get me? But the simpler way to do it for this particular category, or for this particular menu, okay, category menu, is just go to includes, go to H2, then look for where that category falls. I believe it falls, which is, this is where it's for. Okay, this is it, category menu. Go to include category menu. This is it here. Okay, so this is what you do. This category. So for you, before, this is what you do so that it works fine. Where's that category you're adding? Okay, this category ID and this category menu, and this is the URL, right? Good. This where you add the category ID, this where you add the category. So what you have to do is, when you come here, instead of adding this category directly here, the way I did, I believe I did it this way, because I didn't actually take note of spaces, which is important. Some of these things are what I'm going to, when I start making YouTube videos, I will take note of all of them. Okay, good. So what you're going to do now is a simpler way to do it is just copy this category here. Then you come here, maybe you can call it category name. So I format it, say, or formatted category, or from a category URL, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let me just call it category name, or formatted category name. No, just short one, category cat name, category name, or category name, category URL. Yeah, let's call it category or name. I'm just looking the most better, I mean most relevant name, but let's use this one. That's okay. But if I've not used it before in another place, otherwise it will conflict stuff. Let me use category URL so that it will not conflict, because I know I've not used this one before. Okay, now you say use this string.replace. Okay, this PHP function to replace something. Do you understand? Okay, so you now put what you want to replace. You want to replace space. You want to replace space with hyphen like this. Okay, comma, and you want to replace it inside this. Do you get me? So what we are now saying is that all the categories that has space, replace it with this. Okay, so you can now copy this. Come here, come to URL here. Okay, paste it here. Do you understand? So having done that, this will take care of the categories. If you have subcategories, you can also do the same thing while fetching subcategory. Okay, so I take care of subcategories with spaces. Now let's refresh and see. So if we refresh, now let's look for the one with spaces, like this one. Okay, let me refresh first. It seems I didn't. Okay, let me just see it in the URL first. Okay, it seems, let's check. My timer has thrown away. I think I'm right. Okay, but let me check, because sometimes one can just, let me check this to see if the space will be the first or whether this will be the second. Sometimes. Okay, replace word with Peter. Hello world. Okay, general, wait. Hello Peter. So replacing word with Peter, replacing space with hyphen. I got it right. Replacing space with hyphen. Hello category. Category URL. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, oh, sorry. I didn't actually notice this. Sorry about that. I didn't notice the one above here. Just do the same thing here. But this, this one is okay, category menu. So above here, you redo the same thing for this category above. Maybe let's call it another name because so that we don't want it to. Okay, no, is it still okay? Let's call it another name. Category URL main, maybe, or formatted, something like this. Okay, then you come here, category. You press this one. Okay, yeah, I now understand. So this one is for subcategory. I hope you understand. So this one is taking care of the subcategory in case if you have subcategory. While this one is taking care of the main category. So this one is supposed to be subcategory URL. Do you understand? Why the other one will be category URL, something like that. Okay, so let's refresh it. Oh, sorry. Oh, not this one. Yeah. Awesome. So you can now come over here, leave this one, category URL. Okay. So you now, that's all. Then just copy this one. So what I just did, I just replaced spaces with hyphen. But there are more you can do to this because the URL there are other characters that might not go well in URL, like ampersand. So you have to also remove ampersand. You can also maybe if you want, you can do something like this. Anywhere you have ampersand, like maybe and sign like this, you press it to it, maybe and normal and like this, so that it will go well in the URL. You understand? You can do the same thing, but a method inside a method you can do this quite well. And so I use that method for all. But I might not start creating a method now to take me a longer time, but you can do it because we've been creating method all along in this tutorial. So maybe ampersand, where there's ampersand, replace it with and like this. Okay, so having done this, I think that's all. Okay, sorry for this one, have to copy this. We now use this one that has comma already, this one that has hyphen already. Okay, do that. Same with this, copy this. Okay. That's okay. So first of all, it add hyphens to it, then it will now check whether there are any place that has ampersand to change it to this. So there are other options like percent, like if you have percent, but a percent is not common in letter, and even apostrophe can remove. There are many other ways to do that. Just make a research and you learn more. Okay, maybe research on how to format URL. Okay, how to format URL in PHP. Okay, now that we are done with this, then let's hover on this. So it's perfect now. So if we click, do you see it adds hyphen to this, but this cannot modify header. What you do to solve this one is you have to go to category menu and add this. I might not be able to do all these things today, but I think I've given you what you really need. Okay, so just go to category menu, category. Yeah, just go to the topmost part. Okay, maybe this place can even do, but maybe enter. Then you add maybe OB start. Right, just good. Alright, then you refresh. Okay, so what will happen now is Okay, it's add ampersand. That means you have to also remove ampersand before you add this. Just make a research on how to see this one works, but you have to also remove. I actually did this in my tutorial. I think I removed this. You have to, when you come to category menu, you have to also remove this so it will show well. You understand? And let's go back to this. Just know you need to just create a method. Use that method to format your. Okay, so this is working fine. Actually, the issue here is that there's no fashion and design. This thing it's saying. I don't know if you have a fashion and design category. You don't have. If you have it, it will show. Maybe you have fashion and clothes category. That is what it's showing. Do you understand? But everything, the logic, if you go to category menu, category page, you see that the logic is that if it doesn't have it, and this is the logic, it will return back to base, to home page, and that is what it's doing. Do you understand? If it doesn't see a category that matches that, to return back to home page, and that's what it's doing. So that's all right. The only thing you might need to work with this ampersand now, you need to actually work on it. Like this ampersand. Now maybe I can just do this ampersand because it's converting it. Oh, I've taken time. Okay, let's quickly this thing I'm doing, you can also use Lego regular expression to actually get it done, but because I've started doing it, let me just add ampersand here. Yeah, change it to maybe nothing, so it will remove it. Okay, to remove it. Now let's check. Let's check and see. Yeah, okay, MP ampersand and okay, it has and, so that would be maybe, let me put and here. Okay, let's add and like this. Okay, let's check. Oh, sorry, I'm actually adding. Sorry about this. I'm adding in. I'm adding in. I'm not even adding in this in main category. Yeah, this is where I'm supposed to add it. Okay, let's see now. Let me see. It's adding space, and but let me just check something first. ANP. Okay, and I believe I've not broken anything yet. I think it will better use a method for this. Maybe you know what I'm gonna do to make this easy, because I think this requires more of using a method. I will send you, or just remind me tomorrow. I will send you a sample of a method I use for this. Let me see. Let me even see if I can show you that method, because I actually did a lot. Because I'm trying to do it short way, but it's requiring me to make it long, and that's the issue here. Let me show you the method. Maybe you can take a quick glimpse at it. Format URL. Do I see how? Oh, 30 minutes already. I think I have to stop. Stop. But let me just use 2 minutes to see if I can quickly show you the method. Just use the method and Let me try. I think, do I still remember where I have it? I don't think I remember where I have it. Let me stop here. I will get it and send to you. And send you a screenshot of the method so that you build a method like that. Use it to format this URL. Okay, I wanted to follow a shorter way to do it. Okay, I'm even the one confusing it. Just because I'm trying to be in a hurry. I think this shorter method is supposed to solve it. I will just want to check to see if the shorter method will solve it, so that you don't have to bother yourself. Yeah. Okay, I've seen why this. So this shorter method has solved. I know it was supposed to solve it. If I click here now, you see it works fine. The only thing you need to do is need to remove this. If you come here now, you just strip the line, as in where you are fetching from this category, where you are fetching this title. You see where you're fetching the title. You just come here and say to remove that hyphen, just a string dot replace. Okay, just repeat the same thing, but this time around put the title first, then you now add space. So the idea is anywhere there is title, give space instead. Sorry, anywhere there's hyphen, not title, please. In the title, anywhere there's hyphen, give space instead of we'll remove the hyphen and add space. Now watch out. Do you see that the hyphen is gone and it's fine now? Okay. So with this, you've solved the issue of this URL issue. Okay. Thank you so much. But I would still, if I still have the time, maybe I might still send you a screenshot of from the method I used to work on a URL. Okay. Thank you so much.